Hey, all right. How many people have ever noticed? Oh, we have three people raise their hand. You should leave now. No, I'm teasing. All right. How many people have ever noticed when you get up in the morning, unless you're one of these sick morning people, you don't jump out of bed and say, "What a beautiful morning," right? You don't do that. Most of us, if you're a normally organized human being, the moment the alarm goes off, you just lie there for a few minutes saying, I don't want to get up, or I'm tired, or your body feels like lead, right? But you will yourself to get up because kids got it. You got to go to work. Kids need food for food on the table, and the rent needs to get paid, right? And you get up and you start moving, but you don't move like a spring chicken, do you? You're not doing sprints around the house unless you're one of those sick morning people, right? It's cold outside, yes, right? Now, the more you start to move, the more your energy level starts to pick up until I don't know about you. I'm a morning shower myself. I know that's probably way more information than you wanted, but I need that shower to wake my weenie butt up every morning. And here's what I'm getting at. When your unconscious mind measures the amount of energy expenditure it's going for, that becomes its normal, and it will resist any change up or down. But because it's hardwired to want to conserve your energy, it's much happier lowering the energy consumption. And the easiest and the most energy conservative position to be in is lying flat on your back asleep. When you start to wake up and the morning comes around, your body does not want to change its level of energy output until you force change upon it, until you get the body physically moving. And the more you move, the more the brain and the body says, oh, we're not going back to bed. I guess we got to turn up the juice. And so slowly your system starts to wake up because the system is establishing what? A new normal based on the demand you're imposing on it. Okay. This is now, here's the other thing. Anytime we perceive change or a need to change ourselves, how many times have you noticed a lot of times when you perceive a change you want to make or a task you want to accomplish or a goal you want to achieve, how many of you ever noticed you suddenly get really tired? Anybody? Yes, right? Why? Protection. Your unconscious mind says, oh, see what they want? We're going to need more energy for that. I don't want to do it. I want to stay normal. I know if I make him tired, he won't do it or she won't do it, right? Little things like this, oh, hell, too frequently. Yeah. Chronic fatigue and ADHD, right? We get symptoms. Why do we get? Now, here's another one, right? I'm just throwing up things we've all encountered in some point or another. How many of you have ever set a goal and the moment you set the goal, you were terrified of it? Anybody? Right? Thank your unconscious mind. Not because it's trying to hurt you. This is the important piece. Your unconscious mind is not doing any of these things to hurt you or to punish you. It's doing these things to protect you. Because 9 times out of 10, the things we're going for are changes from what's familiar. They're changes from what's so you're not broken. You don't lack willpower. You're not in alignment with your unconscious mind. You're not communicating with it in a way that it gets that this is desirable and this is what you want. And so it puts up all these different forms of resistance. Okay. So again, if you've ever found yourself just you have the best of intentions and you just drift off into nothing, or you set an intention and nothing happens, or you get familiar feelings in unfamiliar situations, what you're dealing with is the unconscious mind sorting mechanism. It's looking at the situation, it's looking at what you've done in the past, deciding what you did that worked, and doing it again. Okay. So your critical faculty and your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, they work together to keep you safe. Because if that critical faculty wasn't there, anything that came into your head, you would accept as true and you would do it and you'd probably blow yourself up, right? That's a con artist field day, right? Cult leaders field day. We don't do that. We have a certain model of how the world works. We have rules by which the unconscious mind operates. And as long as those rules are in place, the dynamics that we're dealing with will continue. But once you understand the dynamics of how that works, once you understand how to log in with the right username and password, then change can become very systematic. Systemic change is enduring. Momentary change is not. It comes and it goes. It changes like the wind. Are you guys with me so far? Is this useful? Is this helpful? Okay. So let's talk about the three primary ways that we can deal with the unconscious mind. A, I talked about the first one, repetition. But repetition by itself, while in the long term it can work, most of us will not stick with the repetition long enough for it to brute force the unconscious mind. And so I'm going to teach you, if I in the time that we have today, I'm going to give you some ways that you can begin to access and work with your unconscious mind that are very basic. Like those of you who've been to some of my trainings, you know we have all these different ways that we can integrate and work with the system. But we're going to show you some really cool ways that we can start to play with that. So let's talk about emotion. I want to talk about I'm going to talk about the number three first. When I was organizing this stuff with GPT's help, um, we had some disagreements about what was more important and what wasn't. Okay. Catherine's very attentive. Thank you, Catherine. All right. So I want to talk about the something called the identity or the identification principle. How many people here have ever heard of this thing called beliefs? Anybody? Type it in the chat if you've okay. So then if you've heard of beliefs, you've probably heard of belief systems. True, not true? All right. So here's what neurolinguistic programmers and cognitive scientists over the last couple decades, couple 3 decades have really started to discover. A, your identity is a belief system. Let me say that two more times. Your identity is a belief system. Your identity is a belief system. It's a set of beliefs that you have become habituated to. In other words, you are in the habit of seeing yourself as a certain kind of person. You are in the habit of seeing the world through the eyes of somebody who deserves things, certain things, and does not deserve certain things, who can do certain things and who can't do certain things, who's allowed to do certain things and who isn't allowed to do certain things. Okay? That's every human being on the planet. That belief system that we call an identity is one of many identities that we have. However, our core identity, the one that we spend the most time in, is the one that's most, guess it, here, wait for it, familiar. But your identities change as context and environment change. That's why people act completely different when they go to Las Vegas than when they go to church, right? Or to a nightclub or to a self-help seminar. Different personas come out, and each of those identities or each of those personas operates on its own set of belief systems that are allowed in a certain context. They are familiar. Okay. Now, here's where it gets interesting. All of your beliefs, whether they're spiritual beliefs about your mission in the world, identity level beliefs, which is what we're talking about right now, the value system that supports a particular identity, the level of capabilities you believe you have, the deservingness ability beliefs that you have, the behavioral abilities that you have, or the environmental beliefs that you have, all of those beliefs are built the same way from the same stuff. There's a code and a structure to them. You remember earlier I said there's three ways that the unconscious mind is influenced: through structure, through emotion, and through repetition. Okay. But how do we access all three of those? We do that through the imagination. Is there more than one way to access the unconscious mind through the imagination? Yes. There are ways that use the imagination strictly on terms of sound and a belief system that's attached to a certain set of sounds. We call those mantras, right? We have certain iconography or symbology that we have, right? Very good, right? These are all ways of influencing or impacting or communicating with the subconscious mind. In Planet David, we've taken that a step further and we've integrated vivification and somatic strategic suggestion and somatic metaphors, right? We create a construct and then we physically interact with it while we're breathing, and we're doing all these things to light up the nervous system in a very powerful way. We integrate all the different levels of your neurology, but the fundamental practice is simple. We have to stimulate and engage the imagination. We have to log in with our username and password and communicate in a structure that the unconscious mind can understand and use. Okay. The more times we do it, the more powerful the signal becomes. The more emotion we bring into it, the more powerful the signal becomes. The fastest way to do that is to create very powerful, very vivid, very compelling, emotional experience movies, for lack of a better word, holograms in our mind, and live them as if they're true over and over and over again. But if we can get the physical body engaged in the change work, then the unconscious mind tends to grab hold of it much more strongly, because not only are we engaging the imagination on one level, we're engaging the somatic, proprioceptive, and interoceptive mechanisms at the same time. So the physical sensations that are being generated internally are also being mirrored on the outside. It doubles the level of engagement that you have. So much so that even if you have a conscious belief or a limiting belief, or the conscious mind doesn't actually want to get on board, it wants to analyze everything. If you just do these things long enough, it will overwrite what the neocortex wants. Like literally, if I have somebody reach in, grab an energy, take it out, and start spinning it, even if they don't believe there's something in their hand, if they keep spinning it, the body will treat it like there's an actual object being spun. It'll stimulate the emotional brain, which is the limbic system, and it will overwrite the critical faculty. And all of a sudden, there will be something in the hand as far as the organisms is concerned. And that thing that you've created now has the ability to modify the system. Okay. Mind movies are very important, Micah, but they're not the whole picture. Certainly, there's a big piece of the picture. But when we go to the somatic engagement level, now we're playing with a whole different animal. We're logging into the part of the system that actually drives behavior. How many people have ever heard me say this? Everything human beings do is in response to a feeling. It's either a feeling they want more of or a feeling they want a whole lot less of. Okay, that is still true. Even if we're making mind movies, and this is the important piece, going to Micah's question about mind movies. If we're making a movie in our mind, but it's not generating a strong feeling, we're not getting access to the full system resource. It's the body feelings that generate behavioral change. You can run pictures in your head all day long, but if it's not reaching the somatic level, it's not firing the nerves and the parts of the system that need to rewire themselves in order to function, then it's going to take a lot longer. Okay. So, how many of you here have ever done a trance process with me? Just type in the chat if you've ever done a trance process with me. Okay. I like to call them imagination games, right? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to actually play some games. But I want to finish talking about the other ways that the other rules of the unconscious mind and how we can begin to work with those. Let's see here. So Dave is asking, what if somebody reaches a stage in life where they decide to live as authentically as possible? Authentic according to who? Authenticity and is about being integral to your belief system, right? That's what most people think about when we talk about being authentic. We're talking about being congruent with the version of ourself that we've created and living it unapologetically. The problem that we have is that we're different people in different environments. You're hardwired for that. That's how you manage to survive trauma school earth, as my colleague Brent Baum likes to call it. But belief systems are constructs. Identities are just a series of belief systems that we've gotten used to and that we find familiar. And that's why we keep doing them. But if the results you're producing in your life are not in harmony with the person you want to be, if they're not in harmony with the person you want to be, then it's time to change, right? And the best part about belief systems is that they're all built the same way. But the problem with beliefs is that we have two sets of them. We have beliefs we know about, and we have beliefs we don't. And it's the ones we don't know about that continue to derail us over and over and over again. So my job has been throughout the last 2 or 3 decades that I've been teaching these skills and really exploring these processes is how do we make that easier? How do we make it more seamless? How do we shorten the curve, right? How do we do that? What is identity really? It's just habits. It's decisions about the way the world is or should be or has been based on the information you had and the feelings in your body at the time. That's really what combined with a feeling of permanence. But they're not who you truly are. And because they're not who you truly are, you have complete freedom to change them, right? Which brings us full circle to one of the most important things I'm going to share with you today. And that is this, back to the cherry on the identification sundae. Anything that you identify with controls you. Let me say that 2 more times. Anything that you identify with controls you. Anything you identify with controls you. Corollary. Anything that you can disidentify from, you gain control over. Anything you can disidentify from, you gain control over. Anything you can disidentify from, you gain control over. Now, we have whole systems for teaching you how to do that, how to disidentify from the versions of yourself you used to be and redesign the version of yourself you want to have. We have whole systems for that, right? And like, if you guys want to know more about that, I'm happy to tell you about that later. Okay. I promise you, I will tell you, I will take you as far as I can in the time that we have, and I will point you in the direction to get access to those systems and more, if that's something that you guys feel is in your best interest. Is that fair? Is that a fair trade? Type in the chat, yes or yes. Okay, perfect. Excellent. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we talked about belief systems. We talked about identification. Repetition is one of the most powerful ways that we can influence, but emotion actually is a faster way. And that's one of the things I want to talk about now is what we call resonant frequency generator. Resonant frequency generator is a way to use your imagination to transform an image into a body feeling, into a vibrational frequency or color through the imagination and the unconscious mind that your system responds to like a software upgrade. Okay. So how many of you here on a scale have something they'd like to shift, like on a scale of, I don't know, 1 to 10, it's like a 1, 2, or 3, something relatively minor. How many have got something that they'd like to shift? Okay. All right. Well, listen, if you've got a lot of shifts, I'll show you how to get access to the shifts the shifting factory. We're going to do one of the most powerful techniques that we teach. This is a basic version of it. We have like 7 different levels to this that we teach, but this is one that you guys can use right away. So remember, before we get into the resonant frequency generator process, though, I'm going to give you guys a choice. We can go into the rules of the mind, which is always helpful, or we can talk about, what was I going to say? Um, well, I think that's what we're going to talk about. Or we could go into the resonant frequency generator. So both of them are important. Which would you like to know? Would you like to know about how the mind works, or do you just want to learn a technique for changing stuff? Daniel says RFG. Okay. Anybody else? Techniques? Okay. All right. If that's what you want, that's what I'll get you. So this technique is one of my favorite techniques. I was inspired by a man named Brent Baum, who created a system called holographic memory resolution. And if you're a therapist or a change worker of some kind, I highly recommend Brent's work. It's brilliant, right? And from my interpretation of his work and from actually training with him, I used my NLP chops and I kind of distilled out the engine of transformation. We call it resonant frequency generator. So let's go through some basic rules first and foremost. Rules of the unconscious response. In other words, there are 6 things we need to understand. If we want to learn how to reprogram our subconscious mind so that change is fast and as effortless as possible, we must understand something very, very primal, very, very fundamental. Your unconscious mind does not speak English. I'll say that 2 more times. Your unconscious mind does not speak English. It does not speak English. It does not speak French. It does not speak Austrian, Hungarian, German, Chinese, you name it, it don't speak it. But every nervous system on the planet, from the meat level down, speaks the language of sensation. Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory. So when you ask it a question, if you ask it in that language, it answers you better. If you ask it a question and you want a response, guess how it's going to answer you? It's going to answer you in the language of sensation: visual, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, gustatory, auditory distinctions, auditory phenomena, not necessarily words. Many times the unconscious mind will answer before your conscious mind is even aware it happened. And that's why we have to understand, if we're going to master our minds, we must understand the dynamics that govern it. This is the first one. If you want to reprogram your subconscious mind, you must first understand its language. And you must understand how to translate from one thing to the other. Okay? So using human language, words written on a page, don't do half the work as looking at the letters on the page and writing the letters on the page. Okay? It goes through your visual and your kinesthetic cortex. Your unconscious mind understands and interprets that. And that's where the process of affirmations actually comes from. The verbal recitation of it is, compared to the rest of the power of the system, not very strong. So the best way to imprint the unconscious mind isn't to speak them out loud. It's actually to write them over and over and over again. Okay? Wire them through your kinesthetic cortex. Most people won't do that because it takes a long time. That's the double-edged sword of repetition. You got to do it a lot for a long period of time, and the unconscious mind eventually hits its reps, it grabs it, and you do it. So your unconscious mind, when you ask it a question, when you communicate with it, it will always answer you first. It will always answer you honestly. It will always feel like you're making it up. You'll always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's almost never loud, and it's almost never linear. Now, I could teach an entire 3.5, 4-hour webinar on just those 6 pieces. We don't have time for that. I will show you where to get the full training on that, I promise you. But that's not right now. Okay? What we need to know now is we need to understand these 6 dynamics so that when we start interacting with our own nervous system, we stop subverting ourselves. And that's what happens if you don't apply these 6 dynamics to what we're about to do. Okay? Your conscious mind will undermine your success. because it's going to try to interpret the information from the unconscious mind using the dictionary of the conscious mind. And it will create a story around the feelings, the sounds, the tastes, the memories that it brings up. And you'll wind up spinning your wheels, you'll wind up running west looking for a sunrise. Okay? When I teach my therapy students, and I got a big therapy class coming up in March, right? One of the first things they're going to learn is that you have to apply these 6 dynamics when you're dialoguing with any nervous system. Because if you start listening to what the conscious mind, the definitions the conscious mind is applying, you'll wind up hamster wheeling. You'll go off on different tangents instead of going into the system where the problems can be solved. So Mike is asking, is the mind creating external reality or just how we respond to it? Yes, it's doing both. Okay. But that's not today. We have whole classes on that stuff. Okay. All right. So unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud. It's never linear. If you're driving or if you're someplace where you won't look weird, repeat after me. The unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud. It's never linear. Last time, unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. It's never loud. It's never linear. When we start asking ourselves questions, when we start working with our system, whatever comes up first is going to be the right answer. It doesn't matter how stupid it is. It doesn't matter how long ago it happened. It doesn't matter if it never happened. When you ask the unconscious mind for information, the first thing that comes up 99.999999999% of the time is the right answer. It's just not linear. Okay? When the unconscious mind answers you, it answers you with its truth. We always have an urge to edit it, Catherine. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay? When an unconscious mind, your unconscious mind does not care about what's factually true. You got to understand this, guys. You got to understand this from a deep level. Your unconscious mind does not care about facts. It cares about what it perceives to be the truth, what it remembers. That is its truth. And once the unconscious mind has accepted a truth, you must go deep to change it. Okay? So whatever truth it has, that's what you work with. How is it not linear? We'll get to that, Brian. Okay? The unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. Why is that? Because the part of you that keeps your heart beating, your lungs breathing, is in charge of your fantasies, your daydreams, your goals, your aspirations, your loves, your hates, the hormonal balances in your body. The blood pressure is also the part that makes things up. You don't have to believe me. Just pretend that it's true and it'll work, right? That's the best part of this. The secret hack to everything with the unconscious mind is to just pretend it's true. And if you pretend it enough, the unconscious mind will start to work to make it true. But are there ways to make that pretending faster, deeper, and more transformational in a shorter amount of time? The answer is yes. Okay. So the unconscious mind always answers first. It always answers honestly. It always feels like you're making it up. There's always an urge to edit what just came up. As we go through this process, I may say, think of what it might be like to do something, to do X, or I might think of a time when X, and something pops into your head. And as soon as it pops into your head, there's this little voice from somewhere that says, oh, that's not right. That can't be it. What I really meant was, oh, I can do something better than that. Anybody ever try to go with your first impressions and something like that popped into your head? True, not true? Okay. You just ran smack dab into the critical faculty saying, no, that's trying to block what's going on from the deep unconscious. It's trying to overwrite the reality that you're operating from to something more palatable. That's what your conscious mind is designed to do. It's designed to help you survive in societies. It's designed to make up stories that are acceptable to the public and to yourself. This is why we wind up with all the different health problems that we have. It's because we deny our truth. Or even if we don't deny it within ourselves, we deny it to the people around us for fear of what they might do. If you want to be enlightened, if you want to really evolve yourself, one of the most important and powerful things you can do is learn how to become radically honest and accepting of yourself. Let me be very clear. I did not say just radically honest with yourself. I said radically honest and accepting of yourself. You must generate compassion for what you feel and what you believe and why you believe it. Even if it's not true, even if it's something that is horribly politically incorrect, that other people would judge you for if they knew, you must learn to accept yourself so you can change yourself. And this is this one little piece that I just get. I wasn't even planning on telling you this. This one little piece is what keeps so many of us who even know this stuff backwards and forwards stuck. It's because we get down to a certain level and there's this ugly truth down there. And we just don't want to believe it's even true, that we even think that way or we believe that way. Because we live in a culture that's penalized us for telling the truth, for living our truth, if it doesn't match other people's truths. I have a clinical practice. I've been in clinical practice since 2005. I have looked into the hearts and minds of thousands of people. I mean, literally over tens of thousands of people in that 20 plus years. How do I know this? Because I recently had to reorganize all of my files on all my terabytes of hard drive information. And in no case, not one, was a person experiencing a problem because of something they were expressing. It was always the thing they wouldn't express, they wouldn't look at, they wouldn't revisit, they wouldn't accept about themselves. That was making them sick, keeping them stuck, and holding them back. So it's not enough to be honest with yourself. You must also learn to accept and have compassion for yourself, because that's how you heal. You must, okay? All right. So that being said, unconscious mind always answers first, always answers honestly, always feels like you're making it up. You always have an urge to edit what just came up. Never loud, never linear. What does this actually mean? How many of you have ever given yourself an affirmation? Like you said something, okay. How many of you ever noticed that when you're giving yourself the affirmation, there's this good feeling that you get many times, but sometimes there's this little quiet, naggy, icky feeling in the background that you try to ignore? You ever notice that? What's going on there? Two things. A, you have earlier I said you have two sets of beliefs. Beliefs you know about, beliefs you don't. The beliefs you know about are pretty easy to fix. The beliefs you don't know about run your life. How do you find beliefs you don't know about? You have to provoke them. That's what your affirmations will do. If you're trying to give yourself a suggestion that is not normal or familiar to the system, it will provoke the beliefs that are designed to keep you the same, that keep you stuck. And many times those beliefs will manifest as a quiet, subtle, almost in the background kind of a feeling. Now, the reason you're having that quiet, little icky naggy in the background kind of a feeling is not because the belief is weak. Let me say that two more times. That subtle feeling that you're getting is not because the belief is weak. It's not because the belief is weak. It's because it's deep. It's deep in the autonomic nervous system. It's deep in the fascia and the acupuncture meridians and the energy centers and the chakras. It's a vibrational pattern that wells up and makes itself known like a soap bubble breaking the surface of a lake. But the only time you recognize that those feelings are, or those belief systems are even there is when you try to do something else. When you try to do something that is antithetical or opposing or triggering to that old belief system. None of your beliefs were designed to hurt you. They were designed to keep you safe and stable, to keep you in a little box because that's what's safe, right? There's an old saying, a ship is safe in its harbor. A ship is safe in its harbor, but that's not what ships are for. Your belief system currently is keeping you in a harbor. And as long as you hold on to that belief system, those ropes that keep your ship tied to that harbor will only get stronger. Okay? So how do we do this? Well, we're going to start by understanding the transformational power of your autonomic nervous system. When the unconscious mind answers, many times the answer it gives you is not linear. So let's say, for example, that you come into my clinic or you come to one of my seminars and maybe you're going through a divorce. You're 35 years old or 45 years old or 55 years old, right? You're going through a divorce, right? The divorce is happening now, or the divorce happened 3 or 4 years ago. And you can't get back in the game. You can't date, you can't get on with your life. You're just stuck in this holding pattern, right? I get you in the chair. I talk to your unconscious mind. We call it talking to the boss. I say, go back to the very first scene, situation, or event that is the source, the beginning, the root cause of the problem you're here to see, you're feeling even having that you want to change. You're 5 years old, watching your parents argue over money, drinking, whatever. Maybe it was a stupid argument. Maybe it was a justified. It doesn't matter. There you are, 5 years old, watching them argue. That is the source of your problem. That is the source of your pain. It has nothing to do with happened at 55, 45, or 35. The root is there. 99 times out of 100, when you regress someone to cause, that's where they go. Okay? That's where they go. But when you're in the chair and you don't understand these 6 dynamics, all of a sudden you say, go back to the very first scene, situation, or event that is the source, the beginning, the root cause of XYZ problem. The conscious mind says 35. Unconscious mind says 5. And everything goes cognitive dissonance. Why? Because what the conscious mind believes versus what the unconscious mind knows are two very different things. Your conscious mind keeps track of linear time. Your unconscious mind gives the conscious mind the illusion of linear time. But your unconscious mind groups things and organizes things not by linear time, but by what they have in common, how they intersect, what's the same. And that's why when you ask the unconscious mind to take you back to the source, you more often than not wind up at the earliest possible memory where something in common with what you're here to deal with started. Okay? If you just understood and really lived by those 6 rules, you would be able to trust your unconscious mind far more than you ever have. Okay? And it's still just the beginning of what we can do, right? I've got people now that can move little objects with their hands and stuff like, or with their minds and stuff like that through sealed containers and things like that. Why? Because they've learned how to interact with their subconscious mind. They've learned how to make a friend out of it and how to really align with it. Now, that's not what this class is about. right? This class is about something much more pragmatic, right? I haven't found a lot of practical uses for making a little top spin with my brain. I'm sorry. As cool as it is, I haven't got a practical use for that yet, right? But is it possible? Absolutely. So, how do we change this? Well, we need to understand these six dynamics. And then what I want you to do is I want you to think about something that you want to change on a scale of one, on a shittiness scale, make it like a 1, 2, or 3 out of 10. Could we do the eights, nines, and tens? Absolutely. But I want to make sure that you guys have enough bandwidth to actually follow the instructions. The problem that we have, especially in a group situation like we're doing, is when we try to go after the eights, nines, and tens, you get so much energy coming up from those things that you can't follow my instructions, right? If I'm one-on-one with you and you don't have to follow the instructions, as you know, I'm right there with you. I'll kill Godzillas all day long. It's what I do for a living, right? But because we're together in a group like this, I want to make sure that you have access to full resources. All the systems are integrating in exactly the right way. So can we all agree that we're going to do a 1, 2, or 3? Okay, cool. I promise you, I will show you how to get access to the complete system. You'll be able to zap the Godzillas like it's nobody's business, and you'll go even beyond that. But this is for you right now. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think of a time in your life when you were feeling the most wonderful pleasure ever. I know I just asked you about something crappy, but now I'm asking you about something pleasurable. I get that, right? I want you to think about the most pleasurable experience you've ever had. On a scale of like 1 to 10, it's a 97. I want you to remember what you were seeing in that moment. I want you to remember what you were feeling in that moment. Remember what you were smelling. Remember what you were tasting. Because when you do that, when you're in that place and you see what you see and you hear what you hear and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there's an amazing, wonderful feeling that you get, a feeling of absolute pleasure. And I'd like you to notice that there's a place in your body where those wonderful feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, notice where you feel that and point to it. Now look at it with your inner eyes and notice there's a color, maybe even a series of colors connected to those amazing feelings. What color or colors might that be for you, first impression? Whatever it is, imagine a beautiful ball of that energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That amazing ball of pleasure begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill your entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of pleasure, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor, insulating you, protecting you from all bummers, all downers, all less than positive experiences, real or imagined, while at the same time flooding your mind, flooding your body, flooding your spirit with everything it most wants, everything it most needs in an infinite, ever expanding and unlimited supply. When you know you've got that, I want you to go ahead and breathe those colors through your entire being. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. When you realize it's true, I want you to test it. Try to turn it off, try to take it away, and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, and only when you're satisfied, I want you to stop testing, scan your body, notice how different you feel. When you get back to the room, feeling those good feelings, allow your eyes to open and type in the chat what you experienced. Joy, Sheila says, grounding. David says, these never work on me. Okay. Isabel says, expansion and relaxation, joy, peace, inner calm, vibrating in bliss, happiness, empowerment. Perfect. Now, let's play a bit, shall we? I want you to Again, if you're doing this exercise, please, 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 please do not do it while you're driving because you are going to get blissed out. Okay. If you're driving or you're operating machinery or anything that requires your full and undivided attention, wait until the replay or pull off to the side of the road, put the car in park, put the emergency brake on, turn the ignition off, take the key out of the ignition, roll up the windows or whatever so you have privacy or whatever, and do this exercise. So now what I want you to do is I want you to remember that color again. Close your eyes, remember that color again, move it above your head, expand it to fill the room from the floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Wrap it around you, twice as strong as the time before. And when you know you've got it, breathe it through your entire being once again. Let it fill you up like water fills up a bottle, like fluid fills up a test tube, like hot air or helium fills up a balloon. Anchor it in so fully, so completely, no force in the universe can turn it off or take it away, not even you. When you realize it's true, test it. Try to turn it off, try to take it away, and notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, stop testing. Type in the chat, what just happened? Isabel says deep peace, calm, excellent. Is it stronger or weaker than the first time? Stronger, stronger, right? Stronger, little stronger, perfect, excellent. Now, we're going to do this one more time together. But what I'd like you to play with going forward is once an hour, just find 5 or 6 minutes, find a little corner somewhere where you won't be disturbed and do this 3 times in a row. In other words, set yourself, imagine your color, expand it to fill the room, wrap it around you, breathe it through you, and dissolve into it, and just let yourself enjoy it. Okay? And then do it again. And then do it again. And notice each time you do it, it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. What you're doing now is you're integrating the different levels of your nervous system with your imagination, and then you're engaging a hypnotic principle known as compounding and fractionation. Compounding is the stacking. Fractionation is when we step out of something, out of a particular state, and then we go back into it. When we go back into it, we go in deeper than the time before. So the idea here is this is how we impact the nervous system in a very powerful, visceral way. This is going to become a very important resource for you going forwards, because the more good feelings you generate in the body, the more the body moves towards health. Then you can start to use this exact energy, for lack of a better word, to do other things, right? But to make it all go, by the way, was that hard, what you just did? It was as easy as playing pretend. It was as easy as remembering a good feeling and pretending it was something else. Was it effortless? Was it effortless? True, yes or no? Yeah, right? This is how we impact the unconscious, through the imagination, through the emotions, and through the sensations. When we physically act out what we're doing, our body doesn't know the difference between it being something we've imagined and something that's real. This directly impacts the unconscious mind in a very, very powerful, deep way. Now, what we've done now is we've created what we call a safe energy for you. Now, we use pleasure. So if you have a preference for sound, use sound. This mechanic works no matter what modality you're using. If you're an olfactory person, it'll work. If you're a sound person, it'll work, right? Just modify it to make it as strong for you as humanly possible, right? I use a visual representation because the vast majority of people have a strong visual component. And even if you're auditory, your visual system takes up more real estate in your brain than your auditory cortex does. In fact, your visual cortex fights with every other sense for dominance in the brain, right? But some people have a preference, and that's okay. Just use that, right? All right. So you have something you want to change. True, not true, right? I want you to point to where you feel it. I want you to close your eyes. I want you to imagine you could look at it with your inner eyes. And I'd like you to notice that there's a color or a series of colors, or maybe even a sound connected to that feeling. What's that color or colors' first impression? Now, first thing I want you to do is ask your nervous system a question. If my autonomic nervous system, the part of me that controls my heartbeat, my blood pressure, my emotions, my memories, could send me a feeling, a frequency, a vibration, a color, a sound, a smell, a taste that would completely dissolve this negative color, feeling, or sound in my body and give me exactly what I want instead, what color or colors might it send me? Pay attention to the first thing that pops into your head. It might be the color. It might just be the word. It might be a voice. Whatever it is, imagine that ball of energy floating above your head. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and changes with every breath you take and every beat of your heart. That ball of energy begins to grow, begins to expand, begins to fill the entire room from floor to ceiling, from wall to wall, and all points in between. Notice how it wraps itself around you like an amazing blanket of transformation, a cocoon, a shield, a suit of armor. And when you know you've got that, breathe it through your entire being, but especially through that area where that other color used to be. And notice what happens as it melts and dissolves away. Breathe through it. Take as much time as you need. Some things melt faster than others. When you know it's done, just type done in the chat. SD Craig says done. Daniel says done. Catherine says done. Sheila says done. Done, done, done. What'd you notice? What happened? Scale of 0 to 10, rate the remaining feelings, if any. Chills and subtle tears. Good. Any physiological symptom that you have is a sign of transformation. So some people break out in a sweat, some people laugh, some people yawn, some people cry, some people twitch, some people burp. My wife was a burper. I'm a yawner myself. So Isabel says I don't know if it's complete, but it's freer in that area. That's very normal. So there's three different types of effect that you'll get when you do this. This is level 1 RFG. This is when we play with children. Okay. Um, Not that you're children, but digestion noise, that's very normal. All right. Because the moment you edit the pattern, which is what you just did, the system starts reorganizing inside. So you're going to get one of three basic effects that happen. A, you get complete resolution, just goes away, doesn't come back. You're going to get what we call the Russian doll effect, where the area of effect shrinks, and then it shrinks, and then it shrinks, and then it goes away. Or you're going to get a situation where it was here, you breathe the color, it moved. That's a different issue connected to it. It's not the same issue. This one resolved. Sometimes you'll get a sensation change, which is it's analogous to the Russian doll effect. Those are the basic effects you get from that process. It's very iterative, right? Now, when we come back from our on part 3 of tonight's webinar, I'm going to show you a more advanced way to do this that is even more powerful and just can drill right down to stuff. Okay. So, um, so I guess so does change have to be hard? Yes or no? Does change have to be hard? No, it doesn't. If you're ready for progress that feels now, does this feel kind of like fun? Like why was this hard, right? If you want your subconscious working with you instead of against you, this is the work that finally makes sense, right? So for you, um, hold on a second. Let me look at my notes, make sure I'm not missing anything important. What? David has notes? Not really. I have chaos, is what I want. All right. So what we've got for you is a system that will completely teach you how to redesign and overhaul your unconscious mind and master your mind in ways that you've only maybe been able to read about or dreamed about. So with your permission, I'd like to take a few minutes and share that with you, if that would be okay. Is that okay? All right, let me go ahead and uh, okay. Believe it or not, I didn't actually have that part set up. So let's go. Let's talk. All right. So I'd like to introduce you to the Master Your Mind Home Study Program. This is a variation of our Reprogram Your Subconscious Mind. And it's reality reprogramming and personal transformation for healing, influence, and success. It's a home study course designed specifically to help you target the building blocks of your identity, your belief systems, and teach you the language of the unconscious mind so that you can actually begin to talk to it in a way that creates the changes that you want. The goal has always been and always will be to make change effortless, to manifest wealth and abundance, to master persuasion and influence, to transform your relationships, to create unstoppable confidence and charisma inside of yourself, to actually break free of fear and procrastination. Remember that fear and procrastination are not the enemy. They're an answer to a problem that your unconscious mind is trying to solve. That problem is always, how do I keep you safe? Right? Once you understand that no behavior the unconscious mind generates has a punitive function, and you start to learn to accept yourself and be honest with yourself, and then you get the tools to actually talk to it in the way it needs to be communicated with, you're going to have tremendous power over your own mind and body, right? You'll be able to create lasting, personal, and powerful change, right? Now, that's wrong. This offer actually expires tonight at January 27th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Remind me to go back and change that. So what is it we're going to start with? We're going to start with the Mastering Your Mind core training program. This is a 14 video set that teaches you the 7 discrete stages of identity transformation, how to access your belief systems, how to figure out the beliefs you have versus the beliefs you don't, how to clear the unconscious negativity and programs and patterns that you wouldn't even know were there that are just holding you back cross-contextually. We're going to teach you how to remove the unconscious safety rules. Remember, we said that everything your unconscious mind does is designed to protect you. That's why many times we actually date the same person with a different face, or we have the same jerk off boss at 5 different jobs. It's because there's a pattern there that our unconscious mind is trying to help us resolve, but it's going about it in a very non-logical, linear, rational way. And the more we try to consciously, intentionally avoid the pattern, the more often we actually keep the pattern manifesting. What you're seeing in those moments is the classic miscommunication between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. In our systems, we call it psychological paradox, where the more you try to avoid a particular outcome, the more you tend to generate it. We'll show you how to remove those patterns once and for all and actually get your unconscious mind moving you in the direction that you want it to move with no pushback, no limitations, and no rebounds. So we're going to teach you how to remove the negative voices in your head that hold you back, the ones that are always talking shit or telling you why you shouldn't go for something or why it's too dangerous or why you don't deserve it or why everybody's better than you or why you just don't measure up. We're going to show you not only how to find that voice and where it started, we're going to teach you how to dissolve it and replace it with a voice that actually becomes your biggest fan, that builds you up, gives you the best advice, and just inspires you to go for the goal and to be the best version of yourself humanly possible. We're going to teach you a process for installing 4 pillars of irresistible personal power: curiosity, playfulness, victory, and triumphant. The technique is called Pillars of Power. It's one of the single most powerful state transformation exercises that we have. And with it, you can custom design any default driver state that you want that will change how you perceive reality and will pull the elements of that reality into your awareness so that you live the life of victory and of playfulness and of curiousness and an ability to just enjoy it from that space. If you're familiar with a part of the nervous system called the reticular activating system, this part primes that part of you to just see the world through the eyes of curiosity, playfulness, and triumph. It's a very powerful, very transformative exercise. You can see it demoed on our YouTube channel. It's a really powerful experience. We're going to teach you how to sanitize the negativity from your past memories and trauma. Not only are we going to do that, we're going to show you how to drain the energy from those negative memories and past traumas and move them into your positive memories so that your positive memories, your empowering memories, actually get stronger. Okay, so when you look back on the past, you only remember it in ways that make your life better. Right? We're going to teach you how to take all of these different processes that you've used to transform your identity and install it epigenetically. In other words, at the DNA level, so that it becomes a template that your entire body follows for the rest of your life until you go in and upgrade it even more. And you'll have the tools to do that. You're going to get the full real world hypnosis and hypnotherapy identity by design course manual. Total value on this is $2,497, right? But we've bundled a bunch of really powerful additional bonuses with this, things that are going to make this training even more powerful and cross-contextually useful for you. One of the things that I wanted to do with this program was I wanted to give you a package that would prepare you for every application you might need to do and to use these skills from the inside to the outside. So let's look at what else we got for you. If you grab your course now, you're going to get these extra special bonuses. You're going to get the Hidden Laws of Attraction Ultimate Manifestation Mastery Home Study Program. This is a program that builds on the previous 14 videos. It takes that same idea, those same technologies, and it shows you how to find and remove blocks to your manifestation, wealth, health, and happiness success. Things you didn't even know you had. How to become magnetic to money. How to use what we call money mind control to enable you to pull in greater degrees of wealth and prosperity for yourself by whatever measuring stick you use, right? How to influence people remotely to do what you want. How to find and remove hidden negativity, things that were just secretly holding you back, that were just activating in certain contexts, limiting beliefs you inherited from parents, things of that nature, and how to really remove those. We're going to teach you the most powerful way to give yourself affirmations that actually work. Affirmations that are designed structurally to actually match the structure of human belief. So that when you say these things or you write these things, your unconscious mind accepts and processes them as if it's something that's actually true, that as it actually could be true from your unconscious mind's perspective. This is a big deal because classic affirmations seek to implant a seed that the body doesn't want to grow and brute force yourself into doing that. The information method actually creates a belief system. Actually, it doesn't actually create a belief system. What it actually does is it evokes the belief system that your nervous system is willing to accept in order to get the change you want. And when it does that, it actually frees up huge amounts of resources. But to make that work, you have to understand the six dynamics and you have to understand the structures. There's three specific pattern structures that you place your informations in. And when you speak them and say them and listen to them out loud, your unconscious mind has no choice but to process them with the same level of certainty as a belief. Now, the other side of that is that as those new beliefs go in, any belief system that's not in harmony with it, your system will automatically flag it and you'll be able to get rid of it once and for all. This is a big deal. Remember, I said you have two kinds of beliefs. You have beliefs you know about and beliefs you don't. The only way to uncover and unpack and attack a belief you don't know about is to provoke it. So by replacing the belief system that's there with this new one, those other things rise to the surface and you can zap them and overwrite everything. Okay? We're going to teach you how to delete the negativity and vibrational imprints from your past, whether you're conscious of it or not. We're going to teach you how to install traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you admire, people who you want to be more like, how to unconsciously install templates that your unconscious mind will grow into and become more empowered as time goes on. And then we're going to teach you what I consider to be the most powerful manifestation tool on the planet. We call it image cycling, and it patently has produced some of the most powerful, miraculous manifestations I've ever experienced, including two doctorate programs, to be specific, right? Things that were just not on the radar, they were not scheduled, they were not on the map, and then all of a sudden I started doing this image cycling process, and the universe literally rearranged itself to find a way for me to get two doctorates. Okay. I'm not kidding when I say that I've continued to research and test many other manifestation tools. I have still not found one that is as powerful and consistent and as tested and proven as the image cycling technology, which you're going to get firsthand proof of as you go through the training. Because one of the first things we do is in the videos, we actually teach you how to change the molecular structure of water and test it right then and there in 5 minutes. It's really, really powerful, and it will change your entire view of how the world works. So that's a $1,497 value, but we got more for you. And laws of attraction. Okay, we're also going to include, for those of you who are looking for ways to make extra revenue or make extra money, one of the things that is a great value add if you're a coach, a mentor, or maybe just looking for a career change is the career of hypnotherapy. This is our Identity by Design hypnotherapy home study course. This is going to teach you everything you need to know to begin helping other people professionally. And it's a 5-day program. It's going to teach you, once again, how to do instant and rapid inductions, how to screen and qualify clients. It's going to teach you how to hypnotize people anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason, how to use all the somatic principles that we've talked about in this webinar and a whole lot more to systematically find and remove the negativity that people don't even know they have, to remove the safety lessons that hold them back from taking the steps they know they need to take, how to change that voice inside their head, how to remove traumas, phobias, install goals, and program the subconscious mind for more success and achievement, how to create default driver states, how to remove the negativity from your past. It introduces you to regression therapy and the ways that we can actually go back in a person's history and make changes there, and so much more. It's a super powerful program. It has literally taken people who can't even spell hypnosis and turned them into world-class hypnotists in as little as 5 days. We want you to have this because most of us come into these trainings and these programs because we want to help ourselves. But what inevitably happens as we go deeper and deeper and deeper into these technologies and we start to really experience the power of them, we start to realize that we can help the people we care about, and we can help other people who need our help, right? And that's what qualifies you to do this work. Not just that you bought the course, but that you actually use these things to change your life. And because you've been where those clients are, you understand their walk, their journey better than they do. This is not a class, this particular bonus isn't for everybody, just the people who actually want to make a difference in the world beyond themselves. Certainly, this will help you in very profound ways, but this is about taking your skills and being able to do them at a professional level with other human beings. It's a $1,497 value. We're going to bundle this for you. We're going to gift it to you absolutely free as part of this program. Okay. We're also going to include some of the most powerful conversational skills and persuasion and influence skills on the planet. We're going to include the real world conversational hypnosis Universal Persuasion Protocol Level 1 program. This was one of our original flagship programs. And what this is designed to do, it's designed to allow you to take all the inner changes that you've been creating with the Master Your Mind core program, the Hidden Laws of Attraction program, the Identity by Design program, and to express them linguistically, to use powerful, unstoppable, fun to listen to and use hypnotic language that has people hanging on your every word, that literally turns everything you say into an irresistibly compelling hypnotic induction. But it doesn't just do that. It's going to teach you in very powerful, very provable ways how to control your state at such a level that no one can push your buttons ever again. You'll learn how to make anything you want, cause anything you want in the minds of your subject, how to get rapport with anyone, anytime, anywhere, under any circumstance, for any reason, how to bond to their emotional needs and drives so that they really want to do the things you want them to do, and they're going to thank you for it. We're going to teach you how to make anything you want mean anything you want in the minds of your subjects and your listeners, how to focus and direct people's attention of awareness to engage their imagination in ways that most people think are just patently impossible, to create marketing copy and hypnotic prose and texts and any form of linguistic communication you can think of. This will take all of the skills you've learned and magnify them even more powerfully. We're going to include this because we want you to have the inner game and the outer game. We want you to be able to create a transformation in yourself and then amplify and project that change out into the world using the most powerful hypnotic language system on the planet. Okay. It's a 7,441 combined value, but we're going to bundle this with you for free because we want you to be successful. Lastly, perhaps in the core bundle, the core bonuses that we're getting, we talk a lot in this class about belief systems. We talked a lot about how beliefs are built, how they control things, but they're not actually real. They're just decisions that people have made. Now, this particular program, Renegade Reframing, the art of conversational belief change, once you use it on yourself, every limiting belief you have will simply dissolve. It will change, and you won't be able to go back to the old way of being. But the best part about this is you can use these exact formulas and patterns in this training to change the beliefs of anyone you meet, anytime, anywhere, under any situation or circumstance. For every limiting belief that you could encounter out in the real world, you're going to have at least 14 different ways to neutralize that resistance, to overcome that objection, to win the argument and close the sale or get the therapeutic transformation that you're going for. Whatever you want, wherever you need to change someone's mind fast, this is the program that does it. Okay. If you screwed something up at the CPI, in the CPI level, you miss their emotional needs or values and they come up with an objection, this will save you. This will get you back on track, get you back to getting the yeses that you need and want, and allow you to move forward, and everybody's happy. You'll never have to lie, cheat, steal, coerce in any way, shape, or form. But the most important person to use this on is you. Because once you understand how beliefs are built and you understand that how to unpack and attack those beliefs, every limiting belief you have will dissolve. Don't believe me, test it. Because that's exactly how we made people who went through this training do it. We had them list all their limiting beliefs on a legal pad that they could come up with. And every time we learned a new pattern, we used that pattern on all their beliefs, and their beliefs kept changing. By the time they were done, they could not go back to the old way of believing ever. It freed their mind up so fully and completely. They've gone on to do amazing things, right? It's a $1,950 value, but we're going to give it to you for free because, again, we want you to win. We want you to succeed. So this is what we got for you. The Master Your Mind Home Study core program, the Hidden Laws of Attraction, Mind, Magic, and Manifestation Masterclass, the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Home Study course, the Stealth CPI Level 1 Universal Persuasion Protocol, and of course, the Renegade Reframing Conversational Belief Change and Objection Mastery. Total value on this is $9,391. But we want you to win. It's the new year. It's a new you. So let's give you the best deal humanly possible. So you're not going to pay $93.91. Nope. You're not even going to pay $53.47. Would it be a good deal at less than a third of the price, right? $3,347. That would be pretty good, right? For all those courses. But we're not going to go there either. $14.97. That's good. Nope. If you want to grab all of this stuff, all you got to do is click your links when they show up. You get it all for one low installment of just $9.97 or 3 installments of $3.97 each. That's just one installment of $9.97 or 3 easy installments of $9.97 or $3.97 each. And this is your link. Just click nlppower.com/mind. And it should be showing up in your chat. if it hasn't already. Oh, yes, there we are, right? And for those of you who always stick around till the end of the webinar, as you can probably guess, if you click that link now, if you're one of the next 21 people to click that link now, we're going to go ahead and not only will we guarantee everything that we've talked about for 60 days, we're also going to give you, if you grab your course before January 27th, 2026, we're going to give you the following fast action bonuses, right? I'm going to give you the NLP, we're going to give you a 3-month trial membership to the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. This is a program that's been running nonstop since October 10th, 2010. All right. Every month we get together on the third Saturday of every month from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., sometimes as early as 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And literally we go around the room and we ask what people want to learn. We write them all up on the board. And for the next 4.5 to 6 hours, we train those exact skills until you can do them in your sleep. You're not going to get a certificate from the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program. What you're going to get is something much more valuable, the actual ability and confidence to use your skills. You're going to meet a community of like-minded people just like you who want to learn and get better and practice these things. The NLP Power community has one of the most amazing, wonderful, supportive, open, and accepting communities I've ever been a part of. And I'm not just saying that because it's where I created it. I didn't actually create it. I just showed up. People showed up, and they actually wanted to get together and practice more. And they asked me to help them do that. And now the best part is you're going to get 3 months trial with this, and so you can test it for 3 months. It's at the end of 3 months or 90 days. You decide you like the people, you like what you're learning, you like what you're becoming. We'll show you how to extend your membership. If at the end of 90 days you got what you needed, you're ready to move on, no harm, no foul, we'll exit you from the program. But during those 3 months that you're in the program, you'll have access to our entire Mastermind Mentoring archive. We've been videotaping every single one of these trainings since October 2010. You're going to have full unfettered access to the complete archive, either through our Facebook page, our NLP Power membership group, our Kajabi website, or the YouTube channel, which is where we archive a lot of our most recent stuff. So you'll be able to access and watch those videos, stuff that's never been shown to the public on YouTube. It's never been featured in a product, rarely seen the light of day outside of the actual archives. You'll have full, complete access as long as you're a member in good standing, and we'll show you how to become one of those. So total value on this is $10,988, but we're not done yet. Again, I want you guys to take action fast, and this is probably one of the fastest ways I can get you going. One of the biggest problems that I have is that I'm fundamentally, pathologically impatient. I don't like to slow down. I don't like to wait for things. And so I created a program many, many years ago that has stood the test of time. People absolutely love it, and it does exactly what we designed it to do. This is the Stealth Hidden, our Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course. Now, Stealth actually does stand for something. It stands for Strategic Suggestion through Emotionally Amplified, Linguistically Transferred Hypnosis. It's a way of you. It's a program that allows you to drill down on the key components of the most powerful hypnotic language patterns that exist. It's a full training that comes with like 6 video. Well, actually, you only need to watch 2 videos, and you can be out hypnotizing people that night. It comes with audios. It comes with MP3 with manuals. It comes with transcripts. It comes with workbooks. It comes with bonus videos on lie detection, on hypnotic hot buttons, anchoring and action, and instant and rapid induction. So if you wanted something that would allow you to get up and running in the hypnosis world super fast and be unstoppable in the shortest amount of time possible, this one will do it. This is literally download it tonight, be hypnotizing people tonight or tomorrow, depending on how fast you assimilate the information. But you don't need 40 hours of training to be able to go out and start doing a lot of these things. That's why we designed this course to be a fast start for you. It's a $997 value. Total value of everything we've talked about so far is $11,985. But we got one more thing, and this is the kicker. This is the thing that's going to make everything different. For the next 21 people who register for this program, we are going to give you a special VIP ticket to our next real-world hypnotherapy Identity by Design 5-day certification boot camp. It'll be here in San Diego, March 24th through the 28th. Is that right, Moss? I can't remember. Put it in the chat. It's going to be in March. I believe it's the 24th through the 28th. And we're going to teach you step by step everything that you need to know in real time, how to hypnotize anybody, anytime, anywhere, under any situation or circumstance, for any reason. I'm going to teach you instant and rapid inductions. I'm going to teach you how to deal with emotional abreactions. I'm going to teach you the most powerful, most bulletproof hypnotic induction we use clinically for the last 30 years, 20, 30 years. I can't even remember how long it's been now. We're going to teach you how to remove the negativity from people's past, so that stuff they didn't even know they had. We're going to teach you how to remove the safety lessons that keep people stuck or keep things from coming, keep things they get that they try to make go away. They keep coming back. We'll show you how to fix that. We're going to teach you how to change the voice inside of somebody's head so that it builds them up instead of tearing them down. We're going to teach you how to install powerful default driver states that inspire and motivate people and cause them to see the world through a very different set of lenses. We're going to teach you how to sanitize the negativity from their past so that when they look back on the past, they only remember it in ways that make them feel better. We're going to teach you everything you need to know to screen and qualify clients to work with you or not. What makes the best hypnotic client. We're going to teach you all the different ways you can play with the unconscious mind, the 6 dynamics of the unconscious mind. We're going to teach you what we call the somatic search engine concepts, or energy-centered body psychotherapy. We're going to talk about the 6 dynamics of the unconscious response over and over and over again. You're going to learn the transformational triad, which are the 3 core speed healing techniques that we teach to the general public. And then we're going to show you how to build those into all the other interventions that we have. We're going to teach you how to install, through deep trance identification, the traits, qualities, and characteristics of people you truly like and admire, who your clients truly like and admire, so that they become the person they want to be, and they feel happy of coming to you for enabling them to do that. It's a really powerful certification. And if you want to be a truly powerful, confident, unstoppable hypnotist, this is truly the most powerful and transformational training that we do. All of our trainings are powerful, but for those of you who are coaches, mentors, therapists, this is the biggest needle mover on the planet. This will teach you how to nuke just about anything, anytime, anywhere, under any situation or circumstance for any reason. I am extraordinarily proud of the people who've gone through this training, and people will tell you that it has changed their life. But it also changes their life because it helps them change other people's lives. I can't really talk too much about this, right? Isabel says, lifelong learner, and it shows. Right? It's a $2,497 value. We're going to give you this VIP ticket absolutely free if you're one of the next 21 people to register and grab and claim your Master Your Mind program. This program is a 5-day certification, and so it is a hybrid. You can take it virtually. We would highly encourage you to actually show up in the room, but it does have a virtual option to it. Also, if for some reason you can't make it in March, just pick up the phone and let us know. We'll move you to the next IBD, and you'll be able to come, no harm, no foul. Once you have this ticket, it's yours until you use it. So by all means, if you want to be trained, if you want to get trained by me and my elite team of hypnotists and therapists and my assistants, I encourage you to click the link, grab your ticket, and show up at our next Identity by Design hypnotherapy transformation. It's amazing. You'll be astounded by the things you've learned and what it will set the stage for in the future for you. Okay, its total value is $14,482. So if we look at all of this, you get all the things we talked about: the Master Your Mind Home Study course, the Secrets of Personality Transformation core training, the Identity by Design hypnotherapy training, the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mastery course, the Stealth CPI course, Renegade Reframing and Overcoming Objections, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring Program, Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, and the 5-day VIP ticket to our next Identity by Design 5-day hypnotherapy certification bootcamp. Total value is $14,482. You get it all for just one low installment of $997, or you can break that up into 3 easy installments of $397 each. All you got to do to get yours is go to nlppower.com/MIND. That's nlppower.com/MIND. Operators are standing by, right? So that's what I got for you guys. Um, and I'll go ahead and take some questions if people have any. Some of the things that people often ask me um, when they're going through and they're thinking about this is, let me see if I can find my list here. What if this doesn't work? Well, it comes with a 60-day money back guarantee, right? If after 60 days, or before 60 days are up, you're not getting the results you want, just pick up the phone, let us know, and we'll refund your money, right? What about, you see here, where's my, um, what about the old objection? I don't have time to rewire my whole life. Well, it's not about changing something. It's not about changing everything. It's about changing the instruction set that controls everything. And that's the beautiful part about this. One of the things that happens many times when we're trying to change our life is we try to change each little thing one at a time. That's exhausting. But what if there was a dashboard or a control panel where many things could be changed at once? This was one of the big things that I uncovered in my clinical practices. After a while, I started being so fast at changing people that I almost went out of business because I used to charge by the hour, and I would change them so fast they'd be done in minutes. But the universe has a way of balancing that out. Eventually, people would start to show up, and they wouldn't have just like one thing to fix. They'd have like a list. Literally, I can. It's so funny how often this would happen. People would show up to my clinic with like a list of 15 to 20 things they wanted to change. And I was like, how am I going to do that? And at first I thought I was going to have to take them on individually. But then an interesting thing happened is I started asking the unconscious mind to take me back to the very first scene, situation, or event that is the source, the beginning, the root cause of the stuff on that list. And what I found more often than not was that the vast majority of surface things that go onto a person's list have only a tiny handful, three or four core events that are keeping them all in place. So the idea that we have so many things that we need to change is it can be an exhausting way to approach it. But when you get to the dashboard, the unconscious mind, and you talk to the boss, so to speak, right? What happens is you find out that so many things that we on the surface seem completely disconnected are actually part of one larger program running at the unconscious mind. And by accessing that unconscious mind through the normal channels that it natively works through, you can eliminate a lot of stuff. So people would come in for a 60 or 90-minute session with 25, 15, 20, 25 things. At the end of the training, they're not only done with the list, they're working on other stuff too. And so you can really begin to create massive leverage in your transformations by understanding the dynamics of the unconscious mind and how to work with that. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out of this, right? Normally I would take a break, but I'm feeling kind of funky right now, so I'm going to go ahead and keep talking. So for those of you who are interested in becoming certified and in learning the full system, I told you I'd give you access to that. I highly encourage you to go ahead and reserve your spot. They're going to go quick. And remember that if once you're in the system, if something comes up that you can't make the training, well, all you got to do is pick up the phone and let us know. We'll move you to the next training. You don't lose that ticket if you can't make it. If something comes up in your personal life at the last minute that frees you up and now you can get to the training, but we're sold out, well, just pick up the phone, let us know. We'll make you a seat, right? We'll help you with that. We want you to be successful with this stuff. Okay. So that's the program that we've got for you. So how many of you would like to know a little bit more about how to talk to the unconscious mind in a way that is useful and helpful? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to have a little bit of a departure. I'll give you the choice. We can talk about yin formations, which is again a linguistic structure that we use to talk to the unconscious mind. Or we can go back and we can piggyback on the RFG process we did before the presentation on the IBD system. Which direction would you guys like to go? I'm good either way. RFG? You guys like the RFG stuff, don't you? Okay, okay. So this next level, this next process is resonant frequency generator level. I think this is three. Three and two and three are there's only like one or two differences between two and three, but we'll work with this. Okay. So now I want you to close your eyes. I want you to think about something you want to change. Like on a scale of 0 to 10, it's like a 1, 2, or 3. When you've got that, just type done in the chat. Okay, perfect. Now I want you to close your eyes once again, and I want you to look at it with your inner eyes. And I'd like you to notice that there's a color or a series of colors connected to that feeling. What color or colors might that be for you, first impression? You don't got to type it in the chat, just know what it is. Okay. Now, here's my question. How young, again, none of these things I'm about to ask you, you don't type them in the chat, you just speak them out loud where you are. How young might you be when you first feel a feeling like that? Okay. As you focus on that, as you look at the color in that part of your body, does it have any weight, temperature, or texture? Just answer out loud. I don't need to hear it. Does it have a size or a shape? If it has a color, trace the outline of that color with both of your hands so you know what shape it takes. Is it in your body, out of your body, or both? And once again, how young might you be when you first feel a feeling like that? Whatever number pops up is perfectly okay. Are you inside or are you outside? Alone or with people? Answer with your first impressions, daytime or nighttime. Look around, notice what's happening. Walk yourself through that memory until the feeling you want to change appears. When it appears, type done in the chat. Perfect. Now, close your eyes and use your imagination for me. I want you to ask yourself a question. If God could come down and look you in the eye and give you a magical talisman that would let you go back to before that event ever had a chance to happen and change it all, if everything was allowed, what would you like to see happen for that younger version of yourself instead? Now, you don't have to type it in the chat. I just want you to speak out loud what you would like to see happen for that younger version of yourself instead of what you actually remembered happening. What would you like instead? When you know what that is, type done in the chat. Good. Okay. Perfect. Now I want you to close your eyes. I call this your Steven Spielberg moment. I want you to, I'm curious, can you imagine what that experience, that brand new experience, what you want instead might actually be like? What might you see in that moment? What might you hear? What might you smell? What might you taste? Because when you do that, when you're in that place and you see what you see and you hear what you hear and you smell and you taste what you smell and you taste, there's an amazing, wonderful feeling that you get. As you feel that feeling, I want you to watch that movie that you've created. I want you to make an alternate reality movie. I want you to make it awesome. I want you to go as far back into the past as you need to, move as far into the future as you want to. I want you to write, script, cast, direct every moment of every scene of that movie, and I want you to make it awesome. I want you to make it so good you can't even sniff it without a big old smile on your face. When it's perfect in every way. I want you to watch it over and over and over again. Not once, not twice, but hundreds and thousands of times at the speed of thought. With each repetition, I want you to make it 10 times stronger, 100 times better, 1,000 times more thrilling, fulfilling, and satisfying than ever before, until it overwrites and replaces every experience you've ever had before. And then it just keeps getting better and better and better. And as you watch that movie, I'd like you to notice that place in your body where those wonderful feelings start, where they grow, where they spread from. Take a moment, notice where you feel it, and point to it. When you know the color connected to it, step into that movie and live it first person over and over and over again. See the world through those eyes. Hear the world through those ears. Smell and taste and feel the world through that mind, body, and soul, alive, alive, alive with transformations over and over again. And notice as you do with each pass through that movie, that beautiful color, those feelings in your body, those wonderful feelings begin to grow. They begin to expand. They begin to fill your entire being from the top of your head to the tips of your toes and all points in between. And then they just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger until they become so strong, so powerful, they begin to radiate, radiate, radiate from your body like the rays of the sun, forming a beautiful colored frame around that new reality that you've created. And when you're ready to own it, to embody it, to personify it completely, whole and total, reach out with both of your hands, physically grab it, the frame and the reality inside of it, lift it up over your head, expand it to fill the infinite universe, pass it through your entire being, head to toe, mind, body, soul, spirit, over and over and over again. And notice what happens to that other feeling that you wanted to get rid of. No, keep passing that frame through your entire being until every part of you is vibrating in complete and total harmony with this new reality that you've created. When you know you've got it, you know it's locked in, test it. Try to go back to the old version of yourself. Try to turn the new feeling off and notice what happens instead. Take all the time you need. Keep passing that energy through your body until it's completely transformed. When you know you're done, type complete in the chat and we'll continue with the next part of our process. Sheila's complete, complete, complete. How's our YouTubers out there going? Complete, complete, complete. Brian says, oh my. Scan your body. Tell me what you found. What happened? Isabel says, complete. Isabel's all tingly. All right. So that's a more comprehensive resonant frequency generator intervention. The idea behind this is that your unconscious mind runs on codes and patterns and structures. And if you understand the coding language and can access the coding device, you can rewrite whatever code you want. The memories that we have are the prime drivers and motivators to our behaviors. As we change our history, as we change the memories, we change the belief systems. As we change the belief systems, we change the identities they create and support. As we change the identities they create and support, we change the behaviors we're willing to engage in or not engage in as a byproduct of and a consequence of those identities. This is just one small piece of the identity by design system that I wanted to share with you guys. And I'm happy to take any questions that you have right now. Um, what do you got? Talk to me. Isabel says, thank you. My pleasure. Daniel says, woo, feels good. Scale of 0 to 10. Any of those old feelings still remaining? All right. Okay. Well, you guys aren't the moment you guys do this, you're not going to be out of trance for a few moments yet. It's okay. It's normal. Your whole body, by the way, these interventions are really, really fast, but they're really, really deep. And the change work keeps happening even after you've been emerged from the technique. So don't be surprised if thoughts, feelings, and emotions come up. Drink lots of water. These are normal things. Emotions are going to come up. So Daniel says, so pulling up out all VACOG from where it all started and changing from there. I'm not sure I follow the question, Daniel. How about our YouTubers? Origami says, bless you, David. You're welcome, sweetie. I don't know if you're male or female, but you're sweetie anyway. Yaroslav? Yeah. So Brian says, some feeling of fear remaining, though I see and I'm feeling a new trajectory of my self-identity, and I'm 56. Very good. Point to where you feel it, Brian. Close your eyes. Notice there's a color connected to it. What's the color? First impression. Okay. Scale of 0 to 10, rate the intensity of the feeling. It's okay. You can cry. Don't worry about it. That's actually spontaneous crying, by the way, is often a sign of liver purging for those of you who are into Oriental medicine and stuff like that. It's okay to change it. Okay. Point to where you feel it. Now, now don't type in the chat anymore. Just follow my instructions. If any of you guys want to follow along and clear something, you can do this too. Think of something you want to change, point to where you feel it. If there were a picture floating in the space around you that represented that feeling, a picture you could reach out and touch, where would you reach out to touch it? First impression. Now, trace the outline of it with both of your hands so you know how big it is. Make sure we got the right one. Grab it, make it bigger. Notice what happens to the feelings. Make it smaller. Pull it closer to your body. Push it away from your body. Notice how the feelings shift and change. If you've got the right one, the feelings should shift and change. Put a big, thick black frame around that puppy. Bigger and thicker and blacker, the better. Now, most of you are too young to remember when televisions had real dials and knobs and switches instead of touch screens and remote controls, but I want you to feel along the base of that frame. You're going to notice some dials and knobs and switches like on an old style television. Find the knob that controls the brightness or the contrast. Find that knob, turn it all the way to the right until the image whites out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Once you know what that is, turn it all the way to the left until the image blacks out completely. Notice how that makes you feel. Decide for yourself which one you like better. Turn the knob all the way to that direction. Take the index finger of your dominant hand. And in glowing golden letters on that whited out or blacked out screen, there was some lessons, some messages, some information that this experience wanted to convey to you. I want you to take your magic finger and in glowing golden letters, I want you to write the lessons and the messages on that colored out screen so you can keep all the lessons and let everything else go. Now, some people, they know exactly what those lessons are. They blast them on the screen like it's nobody's business. Some people have no conscious idea what those lessons or messages are. But the part of you that created those feelings, the part of you that created that frame, that part always knows. So give control of that finger over to that part and let it write on the screen all the messages, all the lessons, positive or negative. So you can keep all those lessons, let everything else go. The screen will scroll like a tablet scrolls. So you have an infinite, unlimited writing space. If feelings and emotions come up, put them on the screen too. As they come up, they come out. As you feel it, you reveal it. As you reveal it, you heal it. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the body. Solved, dissolved, and resolved from the mind for all the right reasons. Take all the time you need to complete this process, to feel complete. And when you know you're done, only when you know you're done, I want you to reach up with both hands. Shrink that frame and the reality inside of it down to the size of a postage stamp or even smaller. Notice how the feelings in your body shift and change as your unconscious mind sends that teeny tiny frame up over the top of your head and all the way back beyond the horizon until it disappears completely. And you all know the sound a hammer makes when you're banging on a nail. Put it nailed back there for all eternity and possible come back. When you know it's nailed back there for all eternity and possible come back, test it. Try to bring the old feelings back. Try to turn the new feelings off. And notice what happens instead. When you're satisfied, and only when you're satisfied, scan your body, notice how different you feel. Stop testing and type your experiences in the chat. Daniel says, wow. Fun stuff. Yeah. Many different ways to reprogram your unconscious mind. Isabel says, hadn't done that frame technique in years, feels like an old friend. It is your old friend. Worked then, works now. Ethereal. All right. Yeah, you're going to be processing for a while there, Big B. Drink lots of water. What's going to happen now, again, you can avoid taking this as a suggestion. It's just some ideas that might help you. You've basically reprogrammed a big chunk of what's going on in there. Your body's going to start to release what it's been holding on to. There's nothing else for you to do here except let it come out. Drink lots of water. Give yourself kindness and compassion. Don't try to think your way through it. Don't try to stuff it down. Don't try to ignore it or in any other way move the process along. The energy is going to come out and it's going to rebalance at its own rate. You're just doing a detox now. The reasons that were there are gone. And so just let the system get rid of it in the way it knows how, and you'll be fine. But drink lots of water because, again, when you detox one way, you tend to detox the other, right? I would avoid people for the next hour, couple hours or so until you're kind of settled, right? All right. So hopefully, what'd you guys learn from that? By watching or by doing, what'd you guys learn? You're welcome, Brian. Isabel says dimple works, much appreciation. Oh, simple work. Yes, you don't need long, drawn out, confusing techniques. You just need to understand a few core principles for how your unconscious mind works and be willing to use them. Now, I'm going to give you a real powerful multiplier to your success. The more playful you can be with these tools, the better they work. Okay? The more you can play with these tools, the better they work. So we're coming up on the end of today's webinar. So let me just go ahead and remind everybody about the amazing deal we've got going on. For those of you who are on the fence, this is our second to last call, right? You're going to get, our package includes the Secrets of Personality Core Transformation Program, the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Course, Hidden Laws of Attraction, Stealth CPI, Renegade Reframing, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring 3-month trial, the Stealth Instant Conversational Hypnosis Crash Course, and of course, the Real World Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Certification Bootcamp, 5 days here live in San Diego, March 24th through the 28th. Right? Just click your links in the chat, and we'll go ahead and make sure that you guys get your tickets. Right? Sheila says processing, gurgling, headache came and left, eyes tearing. Yep, your body's going to do that stuff. Again, this is how you know it's real, right? Once the body's engaged, the reason that we have so many problems or our problems seem to linger is because it's not a mind thing, it's a body thing. The moment, okay, Demi says, for administrative reasons, how do I get in touch after the webinar? If you call 858-282-4663, or you can email moss@nlppower.com or Mia at nlppower.com. They will be happy to help you and guide you through the process. Okay. Yeah. So again, you guys have a universe of magic waiting to be unlocked inside of you. I would be honored to help you do that. Please, please, please come see us in March. If you can't come see us in March, then work your programs in the package and let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you have any sticking points. That's what we're here for, right? What other questions do you have, if any? Wow, I'm either really smart or you guys are really smart. All right. Well, if that's the case, will there be a replay? Yes, there will be a replay. Um, Usually it takes anywhere from 3 or 4 hours, sometimes as much as 24 hours for YouTube to process the YouTube version of the replay. Zoom is a little bit faster, but I have to create a separate page for the replay. But there will be a replay, and we will be sending you out emails for it. Keep in mind that the fast action bonuses, the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring, and the 5-day VIP ticket. Those are fast action bonuses and are only as good for as long as I'm on the webinar. So when I log off the webinar, the VIP tickets go away. So if you really want to get certified, you want me to train you, then I highly recommend that you grab, one of the few remaining courses because we got a little bit of a rush when we talked about the tickets. We wanted the 5-day because we haven't offered those in a long time. So it's going to fill up quick and it's going to be a deep dive into how to unlock the hidden powers of your unconscious mind to reprogram yourself for whatever you want, anytime you want. Okay, thank you. I didn't see a replay for the first one. I need the training. Okay, just wait for the links to come up. Grab your program, and then you'll be on a special database, and you'll get email updates regarding the training as it approaches. All right. Well, in the words of the immortal Carol Burnett, I'm so glad we had this time together just to have a laugh or sing a song, right? Let me go ahead and give you guys one last review because I always do three. It's my tradition, for lack of a better word. So you're going to get the Master Your Mind Home Study Program, combines the Secret of Personality Home Study course, the Identity by Design Hypnotherapy Home Study Program, the Hidden Laws of Attraction Manifestation Mastery Home Study course, the Stealth CPI Universal Persuasion Protocol, Renegade Reframing, how to overcome objections and change beliefs in normal conversations, the NLP Power Mastermind Mentoring 3-month trial with the archive bonus, the Stealth Instant Conversation Hypnosis Crash Course, and of course, the Real World Hypnosis Identity by Design 5-day hypnotherapy certification boot camp, $2,497 value. Total package on this is $14,482, but you're going to get it all for just $997, or if you need to, 3 easy installments of just $397 each. Remember, once you've clicked the link and you've gotten your package, please let us know as you're going through the package what questions you have. That's what we're here for. We're here to support you. We're here to help you. So by all means, please let us know. All right. That's all I got for you. When would now be a good time to click any links you got? I'll see you guys next time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night and God bless. Take care.